now tuned in to the Drawing Board Podcast, a powerful, thought-provoking discussion where we talk about family, relationships, ministry, community, and career. Let's see what exciting guests we have on our show today.
What's the good news, family? This is Andre Ebron, the founder and the host of the Drawing Board Podcast, the author of the book, The Drawing Board, the host of the Drawing Board Experience, and I am so glad to be doing life with you today. Of course, let's just take some time to thank God for health, life, and strength. We are praying for those that are affected or afflicted by COVID-19. We are trying to get as much positivity, good news, praise reports out there to keep everybody uplifted and encouraged. And as I always promise you on the Drawing Board, where we talk about family, relationships, ministry, community, and career, our entire goal is for you to hear testimonies of those people who have gone through certain experiences, and you can glean from their testimonies and gather strength. So tonight is going to be an awesome night. I promise you quality information with quality guests, and tonight is no different. Tonight we're bringing the young guns out, all right? So we have on the show, Brother Otis Lorenzo Gorman. How are you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, Andre? I'm doing good. How about you?
Oh, man, listen, I am excellent, brother. And you are the CEO of Alpha Mentality clothing line, correct?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So listen, hold on, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and set the record straight, just for out the gate. So let's set the record straight. Okay.
Yeah, so let's do that.
Yeah. All right. So listen. So of course, you know, me being a brother of the oldest and the coldest fraternity known to man, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Alpha Mentality, although it has some similar themes, is not associated or affiliated with the fraternity, right?
No, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to get, let's get this out here, okay?
I get it. That's why I have to make sure every time I meet somebody, I know a couple of people. I got a couple of friends, so they ask me about it too. So yeah, I'm not trying to take y'all thing away from y'all. That's a whole different thing, and there's a lot of history behind that. It's something totally different. So yep.
Oh yeah, and listen, man, and just from black man to black man, I can appreciate what you're doing with your clothing line, but you know I had to mess with you, man. And,
yeah.
And listen, and so let's go ahead and get it out there, man. So we had an opportunity to meet down at Enjoy Detroit, where it was Black Market Saturday, and you were down there with your clothing line, and I was down there with my business, Ebron and Associates, and my book. And, man, we just had a great time. I had an opportunity to meet your family down there, and just the support that I saw rallied around, you know, your table. I wanted to show you, man. Listen,
I'm loving it.
So I'm Alpha Mentality up. I go ahead and rock the gear. I'm supporting.
Yes, sir.
And, man, that's the kind of the spirit behind what our mutual brother, Brother Dave Woods, the owner and the founder of Enjoy Detroit, how he always is about getting businesses to collaborate, to support local and Black businesses, and make sure that we are empowering the community with our gifts, our talents, and our products. So, man, listen, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, and funny enough, I got my shirt from Danny. I support Black artists, so I'm repping every time I go out and I wear shirts. Everybody's shirt, so I'm always supporting everybody. Yep.
Yes, sir. Eccentric Danny, absolutely.
Yes, sir. Eccentric Danny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, man, listen, let's just take a moment and shout out to the whole Enjoy Detroit family, man. Salute to you all and what it is that you're doing, especially all of the love that he's been putting out there. And that's really just what he does all the time. But particularly in the moment of crises, it is a true test of leadership to see who will step up. Who will be accountable, who will be responsible for their fellow brother and sister. So yeah, man, shout out Dave. Love you, bro.
Yeah, shout out to him. He definitely been doing that. He was doing that way before this. So for him to just be doing it now, it's like he already started, but this is at a bigger level. So definitely shout out to him for that.
So yeah, man, talk to me about like your relationship with Dave, man, how he ended up helping you get the clothing line. Like, let's run the whole nine down. Like, talk to me
So
about what caused you, like, how old were you when you started the clothing line? You know, what made you think, what made you go the route of a clothing line? Let's talk about it.
okay, so with the clothing line, it's actually funny because it's a backstory to it. So when I was about 12, 13 years old, I wanted to make my own clothing brand, and I had a name before Alpha Mentality. It was ADAP, which was All Dreams Are Possible. And I used to do sketches and everything like that, but like it didn't pan out because after a while I was so focused in school and work, I forgot about it and I left it alone. And then my mom later on introduced me to Dave, which was 2 years ago. And she told me to hang around him so I could see if I want to start back doing clothing because I always wanted to do it. It was always a passion of mine. I just didn't have the right person around me. So meeting Dave definitely gave me a insight of what it could be if I put my passion into what I want to do because he's definitely all about passion. I learned that from meeting him, hanging around. He passionate about Enjoy Detroit. It's all Enjoy Detroit, and he showed me that if you put effort into what you want to do, the support and the love is gonna come what you did. And I trust my process. And like this is my first year, and I'm already receiving a lot of love. So I see what he told me to do, and he encouraged me to believe in myself to know that I can achieve my goal. And he actually told me to think of a name. So I sat for like a week or two, and then I came back to him with it. So he definitely inspired me to start, taking it more serious.
Oh yeah, man, it's good. When you have to make sure you mind your tribe, right? You have to make sure that you are around people that believe in you, that
Right.
will challenge you, that will support your process,
Mm,
that have some seed to sow in
right.
your life so that you can grow. So man, talk to me, alpha mentality. What was the thought process? You said you sat on it for about 2 weeks and you came
Man,
up with alpha mentality. Break it
I
down for me.
okay. So another funny story. So when I was younger, I love Animal Planet. I still love Animal Planet to this day. And everybody, loved the lions and those King of the Jungle, but I was always fascinated with wolves and wolf packs. And the leader of a pack is called the alpha. So I thought of that when I was thinking of it. I was like, let's make it something cool where you could relate to what I'm saying because everybody knows the alpha is a leader. So the mentality part is just I wanted people to have the mentality. So that's where the mentality part came from. I just want everybody to know that you could be a leader in a pack, or you could not just a pack, just be a leader, in your community or in whatever you do, basically. And it's actually cool meeting you because you actually are my school I used to go to. I used to go to Dawson when I was a kid, and I used to live right
Oh
across the
man.
street. I live right across the street from that school. Like one day we gonna have to do a video, and I'll show you. Like I live directly across the street. So, yeah, yeah, it
So
was,
let's set it up, man. So what
yeah,
we do at Dawson every Friday is it's called Career Spotlight.
right,
And similar to what I'm sharing here on the podcast, we have professionals come in from diverse industries and they share with all of the we start with middle school because they're around that age where they're starting to get some ideas about what they want to do with their future. So we
right,
want to expose them to industry professionals from entrepreneurship to corporate America to uh, all and listen across. When I tell you diverse industries, everything. So it would be great,
mm,
man, for you as a product of that environment who is successful,
right.
who took the initiative to start their own business, their own clothing line, to come back. And of course, I rock the gear that
Yeah,
day. I was
yeah,
there
yeah,
that Friday.
yeah. Okay,
All right,
okay, I appreciate
and
it.
you can come in and literally like talk your journey. So when you say you grew up over there, over there on the west side, they
Right.
say I'm not from Detroit,
Yeah. Okay.
but I've been here 16 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody want to say the West Side is the best side.
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
say, listen, but I heard some people say you cannot spell the West without the ES. So I mean, so listen. So that is still to be debated.
Right.
But growing up, over at Dawson, down the street from Detroit Roller Wheels.
Oh man.
Man, talk to me. How was that growing up? In Metro Detroit.
For the most part, it was real challenging because like it wasn't a lot for us to do over there, and I used to get in trouble all the time. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because if it's anybody who work at that school that's been there for a long time, they gonna know exactly who I am, and actually gonna be shocked at the 360 I made, because I used to always follow behind people. You know what I'm saying? I was doing everything everybody else was doing, but I mean, it was a lot of good times and stuff, but it wasn't a lot of people around, doing stuff that you do or stuff that Dave do. It wasn't somebody around there looking, at all the kids and trying to get them to do something different. So for the most part, it was a lot of following and other stuff going on. It really wasn't nothing fun to do, but going skating was probably the best part of my life growing up over there. Definitely was a highlight. Like every Friday, we was in there skating every Friday.
Okay, now my question is, this is gonna let me know if you can skate or not. Listen, do you know how to potty?
You lost me already.
Oh no! See, no.
I haven't skated in like 2 years, so I don't.
That lets me know you were out there with some skates on, but you may not have been skating.
Yeah, that I didn't get to that part. Yeah, I wasn't skating. Nuh-uh. I tried to go to their classes they used to have, but I ain't like falling a lot. So, and I felt embarrassed, so I quit. But I'm gonna learn how to skate one of these days. Just give me some time.
So I figured it out. You went down there to try to just see the honeys who were down there.
Hey, that was the place to go. That was the place to go.
No, but listen, man. One of the things that you talk about, and you talked about like shifting from being a follower. So from what you're saying is being a follower through school, and then you have this shift now where you are a leader and you own your own clothing line that's focused on, it's a leadership brand of promoting people to be the alpha among their peer group, of being able to make that shift like you made from follower to leader. What was like the major experience that like shifted your thinking to go from follower to leader?
I was in school acting up, doing what everybody else do. But I was always not with people getting in trouble. Like I would get myself in trouble, but I did it because I seen somebody else do it. I just did it my own way. But it took me basically getting kicked out of school and having to repeat my 8th grade year over. And I had to sit down with myself and realize, like, you can't just follow behind people and do stuff that other people do. And you got to figure out what you want to do with your life. So that's what started me even doing part of the clothing line with the ADAP before I did Alpha Mentality. So after that, I was just like, no, you're going to set out what you want to do in life, and you're going to try to achieve it as best you can, and you don't quit. Even though I ended up quitting, it took me like 2 years to even stop doing that. But that was a breaking point when I got kicked out of school and everybody telling me, see, you always in trouble, or you always getting in trouble. So I wanted to make a change for myself because I didn't see myself doing better in life if I didn't make that change right then and there in that time. And it really shaped me and it changed me. Like I kept that mindset to be the change you want to see in the world. Like be that change. So that's what it took. It took me getting in trouble and the disappointment on my mama's face. And I never, even still to this day, I never want to disappoint my mom. So my goal just been to believe in myself and know I can achieve anything I put my mind to.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, you shouted out, Mom. Let's go ahead and take a second. Go ahead and shout her out.
Yes.
Because I know she's watching.
Sneeda Gary, my favorite lady. Mom. my number one, my ace, everything, anything, MVP, the real MVP, anything I ever needed in life. She always took care of me. Even still now, I'm paying my own bills and everything. But my mom, I live like directly 4 houses down from my mom, so I can see my mom anytime I want, which is a blessing in itself. So I definitely thank God every day I have my mom in my life.
Yes, sir. So, man, if you could go ahead and I'm gonna give you a second, man. Just speak to some youth that may be listening to the podcast, or also speak to some parents. You know, a mom who may have a son who seems to be just following everybody else and getting in trouble and not doing what she maybe expect. Like, how would you encourage a mom who's going through that right now? Who it seems like her son is not going down the right path. How can you encourage her, especially because you're on the other side of that now?
I would find out what that child likes, like something that's actually gonna be good for them, because I think all of us as kids show early signs of what we're gonna do. So find that thing that they like and buy them that stuff, or get them into programs so they can be focused on that, because that's what happened with me. I had to get my focus off of other stuff that wasn't helping me and do the stuff I really like. And I think if you surround your kids more around stuff that they might like, or you see them interested in, because they give it away. It's so easy. Like with my cousins, my younger cousins, I know what they like. My younger cousin love video games, so I play the video games, or we talk video games, something positive. Just know that if you focus into that thing that's positive, you can see a turnout in them, because sometimes that's all they do. You got to take their attention away from that thing that they following so much and get them into something can actually help them in life. Because sometimes we just need to put our energy, as in when we was kids, just put our energy in something else, and we would have been better off. But we didn't have that. So I even with a couple of people I'm related to, and they got younger male cousins and stuff, like I talk to them, I'm like, find something that you like or you love and put your all into it. I don't care how young you are. People always talk about the age. It don't matter what age. It's young millionaires and billionaires out here because they love something so much that they did everything they needed to, or they was helped. So for parents, I would definitely find something that they love that can make a positive impact, and feed that to them like as much as you can.
Oh, that's good stuff. Now, what would be your message to? So that was the message to the parent. What would be
Right.
your message to the young?
Um, Younger person, I would tell you that you know what you want to do with your life, and I know it's cool to be around everybody, but sometimes it's okay to be by yourself. Like don't make yourself a person that's isolated from everybody, but don't follow what everything everybody do. Do your own thing. Be cool with yourself. People gonna call you weird. They gonna say, "Oh, you just trying to judge us or nothing." Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? You do what you want to do in life and the way you want to. Don't follow nobody, because following take you down a long road of just trouble, and you get caught up in stuff you don't want to be in. So I would hope that you find something. Be your own person. Be your own leader. I think I think that's like the biggest thing, because a lot of kids just get around people and they hang around people, and you get around people and they cool with you, but they do stuff you're not into, but you're not willing to tell them that you don't like to do this or you don't want to. So we stuck, and we never can get out until it's too late. Like with me, I was in something until it was too late, and I got in trouble, and I had to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life, because you don't want to be in your 20s or in your 30s just figuring out life. Like figure it out now. Like what can I do to make a change in this world? So that would be my advice to somebody that's a youth right now.
Yeah, what I hear you saying, man, is that it takes courage to go down the path of
Right.
discovery.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it is difficult a lot of times to hear your own voice when all you're doing is surrounding yourself with the voices of others.
Yes. Yes.
And and you're not encouraging isolation.
No,
What you're
no,
what you're encouraging is taking the time to be reflective on what's important to you, and
right,
then build your associations from the standpoint of what you identify with, as opposed to identifying some things and then building your life upon what other people prioritize as important.
right.
Yeah.
And that's why I always love vision boards. Like we was doing that since I think the first grade. When I got in first grade, we did vision boards. And I never used to take vision boards that serious. And then, the one we just did recently with that vision board, like I see the vision board different than I did when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I just put everything on there. But now I have a specific thing I want to do. Like, no, I want to do this. I want this to go that way. So now that I'm around people and I'm actually able to sit down with myself and write stuff down, that's another thing. Like as I got older, I'm learning to write stuff down that you want to see and check stuff off. I'm checking stuff off. Like this year, I registered my business. I got a website. I'm getting a trademark made. These are big steps for me because I wasn't taking it as serious as I could. And now that I'm taking it serious, these are big steps for me to do in order to, put myself out there and be serious and have people take you serious as you're doing business. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. You said you're leveling up, huh?
Right. Got
Yeah,
to, got to,
yeah,
got to.
absolutely. So I always share the story, man, about and let me tell you, business, you're constantly learning in business.
Right.
When markets are shifting, when customer demand is high, when customer demand is low, generating leads, networking, building the proper relationships, diversifying your brand, adding dimensions to your brand. Like you continue to grow,
Right.
and as you person, your business also grows. And one of the things that I learned, man, this guy, he had to be in his 90s. He was my neighbor, older German guy, first generation, immigrant to the United States. And I hadn't expressed to him that I started a business, but he called me over to him because he was cutting his grass, 90 something years old, still cutting his grass. And he said, hey, come here. I said, all right. Went over there. He said, so I see you started a business. And so I'm looking at him because we hadn't talked. He said, something to tell you. I said, well, what's that, sir? He said, the worst thing that can happen to you is that you learn something. And when you approach it from that standpoint, that, it's never a loss, always a lesson. It allows you to be resilient in growing your business, because sometimes you might take what we call some L's,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. And not everybody will embrace, what it is that you're trying to do. But the people that you're supposed to impact will always be receptive to what you have to say. I learned that a long time ago, is that, of course, our goal is to minister to the world, to get this
Right.
out to the world. So alpha mentality to the world for sure.
Right.
But the
Exactly.
people who connect to your brand, the people who vibe with what you're saying, that's your tribe. That's
Right.
who you should be impacting. That's whose
Yes.
life you should sow like some deep seed into and get them to shift. Because tell me, man, what is your vision for Alpha Mentality clothing line?
So my vision and what I see taking this brand and basically using all the money that I would make or could make into programs for like kids, because my whole thing is I want to start this with the youth and older groups, but I want to target the youth because that's where you can mold the future from the youth, because they're going to be the future of us after we leave. So I want like males, females. I want programs and stuff like, with like jobs and things, you have to have a certain amount of experience in it. I want to have stuff where they can learn early, learn certain stuff early, learn about credit early, learn about business loans, stuff that I didn't get teach. Like I was like, as I got older, I started to see a lot of stuff we didn't get when we was younger that would have helped us, because now we got to call somebody every 5-10 seconds. Oh, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Why not help younger people, so when they grow up, they know, oh, I need to do this to build my credit up, or if I'm gonna start a business, I need to do this, that before I can start my business, and learn all the steps. Like I just want to make sure nobody has to go through that same process, because it can make people give up because you don't know something, you got to go learn it, and then that might take a lot of time. And some people, they not they can't focus on something like that for too long. They'll just go do something else. But I want to help the youth, because a lot of kids I know, even still to this day, grew up without a father or without a mother, and that really shaped them. And I want more people around, the younger youth, to let them know that we do love you. Like, it's not, nobody hates you. Like, a lot of kids grow up with this mentality that people don't like them or people don't want to be around them because they came up a certain way. Like, I loved all my friends that I grew up with. Like, I still reach out to people even if they don't reach back to me. It's just, I never want kids to feel like that, because sometimes you can feel like that when you by yourself in school. Nobody talks to you. Nobody want to be friends with you. You feel like nobody like you. Nobody cares about you. So I really want to do it for the youth, because I felt like that was a major part of my life that I missed out on because I didn't have a lot of leadership. So it was a lot of stuff I could have been exposed to versus now. Like, I'm getting more exposed in my 20s than I was in my preteens and my early teens. There wasn't a lot of stuff out there for us to learn or be a part of. And I want to be that change where, oh, let me do this. Let me see if we can get these programs or stuff like this for youth, because it's fun to learn stuff early, or you never know. A kid might actually wanted to do something like that, but they didn't know, oh, I can meet this person or I could go through this program and help me out. So it's so many things I want to do. Yeah, I got like a long list. We'll be talking for hours, but that's definitely like my first thing. I want to have program for careers and goals, or owning your own stuff. Not even have to go through a job. Like, what steps you need to do to build your business, what business you want to do, what programs. Have programs for everything. But
Yeah.
you
So
got to start off small. But I wanted to start off with that.
no, that's good stuff, man. It's good to have a vision,
Right.
because the Bible says, "Without a vision, the people will perish." And
Right.
so, if the people will perish without a vision, then it means with a vision, the people will prosper.
Mm.
And so, man, my one of the things that I would encourage is, I know you're connected to Dave, so I would definitely, because you already have a relationship there,
Right.
is that, man, anytime that he's out in the community doing whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
do some, do like a t-shirt giveaway, or
Right.
have some friend out there and connect with the youth that way when he's
Right.
out in the community, or connect with some of the nonprofits that are in the Metro Detroit area that
Mm-hmm.
already have a following of a demographic piece, and connect, and look and make sure that there's integrity there
Right.
with whatever nonprofit or school or what have you that you would connect to, and man, literally just start there. And then from that point, you'll be able to structure some of the talks that you have. So
Right.
like I was listening to you. I always give all my guests, I give them a
Mm.
challenge. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So
I love it.
here's my challenge. Here's my challenge to you.
Okay.
I heard you talk about passion. I
Right.
heard you talk about believing in yourself.
Mm.
I heard you talk about discovering your own voice. And
Right.
so where I'm from, that's called, you got to have heart, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you talked about how some people don't have what we would say, don't have the heart to hang in there and stay committed, or have the stick to itiveness to see entrepreneurship all the way through, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
entrepreneurship is a journey. It is
Yes,
a
it is.
journey. And so what I would say, man, I want you to structure a talk using your experience growing up on the west side of Detroit, some of the challenges that you face with getting, kicked out of school, some of the family things, and then where you are now. And the talk is going to be entitled, "It Takes Heart."
Okay. Okay.
All
I
right?
like that. I like that. I'm
It takes
definitely
heart.
about to write that down.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down.
All right. It takes heart. And when we talk about the heart, especially when we refer to biblical matters, when it says that
Right.
God is speaking to the heart of man, He's literally saying he's speaking to his mind. Because whenever you get, my pastor was just teaching on this, whenever you get what's in your head to actually get into your heart and you connect commitment to it, then you become unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because once it gets in your heart, you develop a passion. That passion will lead you directly to purpose. That purpose opens up your field of destiny. And when you get in touch with your destiny, that's when you start to make exponential impact in the lives of others, brother.
Yeah, I definitely feel that, because like it's been like, I tell you, after we had that Black Market Saturday, like everybody had me feeling like this could go somewhere like better than what I thought it was. And it was the family part, it was the support, I'm still getting text messages, phone calls from people like, oh, I didn't know you was doing this and that, like call me, let me know what the website is, I'll buy something from you. Like when we come back out of this, I will definitely be back up selling stuff again, but it's just the support that I still get. I still got people like, oh, I need some jogging suits. I need whatever you gonna make or whatever. And I told them like, this summer I'm definitely coming full force this time, because now that I see that I can achieve that even from that, like that was a big deal for me. I don't care how many people came. I don't care if 5 people came. Knowing that somebody support me and people believe in me, like that gave me a boost. So I'm definitely, like you said, I'm putting my heart into it. Definitely. Like it's been a passion of mine. I just never tried to achieve it. But now that I'm actually, putting notches on it, it's time to just, put it into full throttle and just keep going.
Oh yeah. So yeah, man, it is, sometimes you can be motivated, you can have a passion, but if you don't get the information, the instruction and direction, like that, it's a frustrating place. Yeah. Because you want to do something, like I want to do something, but you don't necessarily know exactly how to do what it is that you want to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's powerful is your mom, and shout out to your mom, because
shout her out.
Listen, because she and I were talking, and she is a great reason why you and I are connected on the show today.
Yes,
she came, she said, my son needs to be on your show.
That's my manager. I'll promise you that. I'll promise you anything I do, it's gonna have Shanita Gary name in it, because she every week she calls me, what did you do new? What did you do different that's gonna help you in your business? Because she like the information you talking about, she's having me, giving me information on stuff or how to do different things. So a lot of information she already knew she's giving to me. So without her, I'll probably be still trying to figure stuff out, how to do this and that. And with the register my business, the trademark, and everything like that, my mom has definitely 100% helped me behind, because I know in business, like, you don't make it by yourself. You need somebody, you need a team. Like, a lot of people like to make the self-made tag, and it's not true. You need a group of people around you.
No,
you need a group of people. And my mom is definitely the general, because a lot of stuff would not happen if it wasn't for her. Like, she definitely gave me a vision of what she wanted me to do. Like, she even gave me stuff. You need to go do this and that. You need to learn more skills. You need to, work on the way you talk, the speech, when you have interviews or stuff like that. Work, like, before I actually called you, she called me, make sure you're ready to answer the questions. Make sure you write some stuff down, go over it in your head so you can be able to talk. Because a lot of times when I get nervous, I don't know how to talk, or I get in this and that. So she knows me better than anybody. So that's the best person I have on my team is my mom.
Right. And let me tell you why I was so open. Like, of course, man, I rocking the gear, got a chance to be, a positive young man doing some great things. We were connecting, and I was doing those little promo videos down there. Remember?
Yeah.
With this person.
You the best promo. I need you.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. What really touched my heart, though, what impacted me, man, was your mom reminded me a lot of my mom. And I had a little knucklehead, span, in my life.
Yeah.
And I think that it made me a better person. My mom
Right.
might disagree, but but it was something so powerful that my mom told me in my, when I was hanging out doing different things like that. She said, no matter. She looked me in my face and told me, she said, no matter what you do, I will not give up on you.
Oh man. I
Yeah.
got that speech too. I got that
Listen,
speech
no,
too.
and listen, and
Ooh.
that's why when I met her, it was something so familiar about, strong moms like that. Because even when, especially when, you call yourself being a young guy living with no fear, taking
Right.
crazy and reckless risk,
Yeah.
and because like you're not, thinking about the consequences to come, because in your mind, you like, it can't happen to me,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
Superman mentality,
Ooh.
and so listen, no,
Yeah.
that's why I can identify. And
Man.
so when we are sharing with the young brothers, we share from a position of having been where they are.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I love about the work that you're doing and the work that I hired to do is we didn't change overnight and they won't change overnight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I always encourage people who want to mentor, and especially because you have like this lifestyle brand of encouraging people to go from followers to leaders, like really expanding that programmatically. So what does it mean to have an alpha mentality, and breaking that down? Uh,
Right.
how do we grow? Because everybody's process will be different, but there should be some familiar milestones that each person has. So you can take me to that day. Take me to that day where you're sitting in your room, you had gotten the news that you knew you were going to you got kicked out of school. Like, take
Yeah.
me to that specific moment. Take me to what
Uh,
you were thinking, how you were feeling. Like, take me right there.
so it was after I actually had to go to a meeting, and we had the meeting, and they basically told me I got kicked out and I can't come back to school. And me and my mom was in the car, and she told me, like, you got to get this together. You got to stop. You got to stop doing this. You lead yourself into trouble, you be in jail, this and that, or something worse. So, I didn't respond. I was disappointed in myself, like, at that moment. And I was like, the whole car ride, I was quiet, but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, what are you doing this for? What is this helping? Who is this helping? It's not helping you, because look at you. Now you can't even go graduate and be in school with your friends. Like, now you stuck. You got to repeat the grade, and you can't go back to the school. You got to go to a different school that you just came from, and then the people there are gonna know that you have to repeat. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do to improve yourself and just show people that, oh, this might be something I'm going through right now, but I'm gonna come out of it. And I did exactly what I said. I told myself, I said, I'm gonna finish this school, grade out, and I'm gonna figure out how I can catch up so I can graduate before 2012. So that was the goal, and I did it. I went to alternative school, and I did both my 10th and 11th grade year in the same year, and I graduated on time. I graduated on the time that I was supposed to. I was supposed to graduate 2012, and I did. And I was so proud of myself. I just kept doing stuff. I kept setting goals for myself, and I was like, before I get in my 30s, I want to be out of my house. So I did stuff like that. So now it's just continuing to chase things I want to achieve. And this was the biggest thing. It was always the thing that I wanted to do, the clothing brand. Like, it's been my life thing. So now this is a life goal. This gonna go on forever. So it's not just 5 years from now. It's what I want to leave behind. So it's gonna be about building and chasing goals. Definitely chasing goals, but making them reality, not just a goal. So that night shaped this moment. Like, really, like, I didn't see it that way. You just really made me think about it. Like, that day shaped where I'm at now. And I didn't know I would be here from that day, but I knew if I change my mentality and I just start doing what Otis wanted to do and start pursuing that and try to do better for myself, I could be better off. And I feel like I am, but I still got a lot of ways to go. But I'm better than what I was when I was getting in trouble to now, where I'm proud of myself because I made a whole 360. So,
yeah. Hey man, feel that moment. Don't just let that take that in.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
No.
It's
Listen.
a moment right there.
No, listen. What I'm saying is like, oh, there are so many young brothers that need to hear that, because here's my second challenge to you, man. I need you to write this down. I need you to hone that story you just told me.
Yeah.
I need you to perfect that story, because that's where like alpha mentality is birthed.
Yeah.
Okay. Think about it. Write it down like this: life beyond stuck.
Okay. All right.
Think about it like this: in your story, how many young brothers can get free from feeling stuck by hearing your story?
It was, I feel like a lot, because a lot of kids I know that I'm related to, or I know through other people, is going through the same thing I'm going right now. Just hanging out with people that I know they could be around better people or doing better things, or they smart beyond what they think they are. Like, I could just see it. Like, even like I got my gaming friends or my gaming cousins that do gaming. It's so much money to be made right now. Like, funny enough, in this pandemic going on, the people who making the most money are those people, are the gamers, are the people who streaming and doing everything online because they win it. And I want people who, if you love gaming, like, do it. It's people out there that you seeing, but you could be those people. Don't think you can't be those people. They had to work hard to get to their point to where they at making money. So you do the same thing. And it's not hard. It's not hard being a gamer. You just got to set up a Twitch account, or, it's programs and stuff where you can learn and you can make a lot of money. So, like earlier, like I was telling you, like, find something you love right now. So, yeah, that's definitely like a thing that I always see. Like, I see a lot of people like me talking like me, or I hear them say the same thing. I'm like, oh my God. That's
well,
how I'm aging myself too.
Brother O. But no, listen, that's good. Because with age, when you apply learn comes wisdom, right?
Right.
So what people need is, they don't just need good information, they need wisdom. They need answers on what to do.
Yeah.
Not just what to know, but what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's what I find profound is that if you could complete your sophomore year and junior year in the same year, what else could you have been doing? Like, think about the brilliance in that you completed 2 years of high school in 1 year.
Yeah.
Graduated on time after having to repeat the 8th grade. I have some 8th graders right now, 15 years old, because they were held back.
Wow.
And some of their friends try to make them feel bad because they are the oldest in the school.
Yeah.
But if they heard the, Otis Lorenzo Gorman story, the story of a young man who was held back in the 8th grade, who got kicked out of school, who chose to take, an alpha mentality and be a leader, completed 2 years of high school in 1 year, now is an entrepreneur, owns his own business, and is growing his mentoring program. How do you think that young man will respond to you? Because he will be able to see himself in your success.
Yeah, that's yep. I see that. That's powerful. That's very powerful right there.
Yes, sir. So yeah, man, 2 challenges. So it takes heart.
Yes, definitely got it.
Yep, and life beyond stuck. When we can show our young men a pathway to a viable future, a successful future, because sometimes, to be honest with you, man, it doesn't take the ideal environment to produce the best wealth. When I talk about wealth, I'm talking about your personality, your character, who you are becoming. Like, some of our young people are not going to be able to change environments, but they definitely have the power to change the way they think. Right, so when your environment doesn't change, but your thinking changes, then it causes your environment to respond to you differently.
Yep, yep. I'm definitely realizing that as I got older. Like the people I hung around too. That's another thing. Like anybody who watching, like as you grow up, there's gonna be people you're around that if you pursuing your business or you pursuing something better, there's some people you're gonna have to leave behind because they might not have the same mindset as you, and you will sit around those people and you'll start to feel uncomfortable. Not to say disown your friends, but you can't hang around people who don't have the same mentality as you. Like it's gonna get uncomfortable because when you have those conversations, people will hear you like, yeah, I see, or they not talking about what they want to do. Like you gotta surround yourself with that. But like I said, don't isolate them or say, I don't deal with you, this and that. It's just you have to find a group of people you know who want to pursue those things that you want to, because it's more comfortable. Like it's a better setting for you because at least you feel comfortable. Because sometimes we feel like we putting our friends down by talking about being successful or I want to go do this or I'm doing this or doing that. Like you don't want to feel like you telling your friend like basically like I'm making big moves and I'm leaving you behind. This and that. So it's a lot of that. It was a lot of that in these last 3-4 years. Like because it was people I was hanging around who was just talking about doing the same thing, just sitting down or sitting around and not doing nothing else. Like, not I want to do this or I want this business or I want to do this for my life or I want to provide a future, for my kids or anybody who come up behind me. And that's a real challenging part for I would say like once you get in your 20s, you really figure out what you want to do with your life. Like it's the people you keep around.
That's good, man. So listen, we got a couple minutes left. I
Okay.
need you to tell the people where can they find Alpha Mentality clothing line,
Okay.
clothing company, give all the social media handles.
Okay. So the website is thealphamentality.com and my Instagram handle is Alpha OG. And then on Facebook, I'm Otis Lorenzo Gorman II. And that's all the apps I got so far.
Okay, that's good. On Instagram, it's Alpha_OG, right?
Yeah, Alpha_OG. Yes, yes.
And then on Facebook, it's Otis Lorenzo Gorman II, right?
Yeah, the second. Yep.
Okay. And when you said the website, is it the like THEE?
Yep. No, THE. Yep.
Okay. But you make sure you say the, right? So
Right.
it's
The
Alpha Mentality, but
.com.
it's okay, got you. So listen, man, I'm inviting you right now next year to come to the
Okay.
school to speak to our youth. We'll get
Okay.
the logistics together as far as dates and times, etc. But man, I'm proud of you, sir.
Thank you.
We're going
Thank
to
you.
hear more from you. I'm
Okay.
glad to have you on the show. I
Great.
told you we were bringing the young guns out. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. We here.
Hey, listen, man, and it is incumbent upon you to really, really take that vision that God has given you.
Right.
Because and now I'm going to lay something heavy on you that my mentor laid on me a long time ago. He challenged me. He said, Andre, if you don't get to where God has destined you to be, there are tons of people who may not reach their destiny because you're not in position.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so,
feeling that. Yeah, I
yeah.
feel that.
And so, and of course, man, our reliance, our dependence is on God to lead us and guide us through his spirit.
Right.
But we have to be unrelenting. We have to operate from our heart, operate from our passion, make informed decisions and be committed to this thing, man, until the wheels fall off. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Till the wheels
Yeah,
fall off.
man. Till the wheels fall off, baby. And man, I'm proud of you. Please, man, give your mom our love, from
Yeah.
Eva Associates.
I'm
And
calling her right after this.
yeah, yeah. And man, tell her, she did a great job, man, because when I look at you, I can tell that you were raised right. You know,
Right.
there's a look in a person's eyes when you know
Mhm.
that ethics and values have been placed in their life. Because they
Yeah.
may go out and venture and do their things, but they can only go so far because
Right.
that sound teaching produces, as my pastor would say, invisible boundaries that you just cannot cross.
Mm.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, man, that's what you look for in youth. You look them in the eyes, and their heart will leap out to you because what they were taught or what they weren't taught will show
Mm.
up right in their gaze.
Mm. That's
All
powerful.
right.
Yes,
So yeah,
sir.
man. Much love, bro. Continue to do what you do.
All
Alpha
right.
mentality.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir. Yes,
As I
sir.
always say, man, your future is not behind you. It is not before you. It is within you. Thank you, Brother Otis, for being on the show, man. God bless.
Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right.